edition. Alexa, play Monster Mash.
When my eyes beheld an eerie sight, my monster mash. It was a graveyard smash.
Well, we are back.
We're on Wednesday, spooky edition. I cannot express upon to you, this is a horror movie household. Begrudgingly or acceptingly, I think I've turned you.
I always liked horror movies. My problem with you is, and I'll tell you my problem
It's
here,
the sick and depraved.
For the folks at home. I'll come home from a shift at like 11:30 and she's watching I'll walk in at the climax of the horror film and I'm like, oh, you were just this was just free to, this was for play. Like
Oh, this is background music to my Instagram scrolling, yes.
No, see, if I'm gonna watch a horror movie, I gotta be fully in it. I gotta know that there's 2 other people in the household. I gotta know where my head's going down at night. Like, there's so many factors.
Honestly, and the thing is, I've watched too many. I know most of them. And I'm not gonna take the leap to Asian or Japanese horror movies because I still have to sleep at night. I have to close my eyes, you know what I'm saying, and wake back up. So, but listen, if you like them scary, recommend me some horror movies.
Please.
We've watched them all.
We've watched them all.
Yes, but we were gonna have a very spooky wine season. Yes. And today we're coming at you with, what are we doing?
We've been trying to, you know, we were talking about varietals and working our way through all the cabs and the pinots and the blah and the blah.
Yes.
But really at the end of the day, there's some, you know, facts that you have to know about wine and bottles and corks and aging that we want you to know.
Yes, and we recently started a premium wine collection. So for those of you who don't know, listen, I just be talking shit. I am a wine lover and an amateur. I do work for a wine company and I love learning about wine and sharing about it. Priya has done her quarter sommelier course. I hopefully will be getting my wine knowledge level 1 soon. But we want to share with you guys some tips and tricks that we're doing with our wine collection. What wine are you just gonna sip and drink? And what wines you're going to, you know, sit on that baby, let her age like a fine wine. You know what I'm saying? She's giving you who's a beautiful aged woman, Michelle Pfeiffer. Okay, what's another one? Angela Bassett. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
We want a wine that is elegant with legs. Okay.
Yes. So we're going to show you what we have in our collection, and this is by no means, you know, what some hoity-toity wine collector has, but this is what, on our budget, according to what we like, what we have in our collection.
Yes.
So we're going to show you.
So why don't we show them what we're drinking and then the 4 that we're collecting.
Yes.
So we are drinking the Oracle. Good. The Oracle from Minor Napa Valley. God, this is a heavy bottle. I'm also just weak. It's quarantine. Na-na-na-na-na-na. You make me wanna come. Yes. Beyonce, don't sue us. Yeah.
So what vintage is this?
So this is vintage or year 2014, and it is a red blend. So just to read off the back of this bottle, shall I read?
Shall I?
So this is 55% Cab Sauv, that's Cabernet Sauvignon. This is 19% Cab Franc, 19% Merlot, 4% Malbec, and 3% Petit Verdot.
Nice. So
Yes.
remember that winemakers go ahead and put different varietals into a wine, especially for something like this where it's super heavy and you know all the grapes coming from this winery are going to be really good. But they use different grapes to put in there if they want it to be less tannic, if they want it to be more floral, if they want it to have more of an oaky taste. There's so many different varying factors. It all comes down to the winemaker and what they prefer at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yes, actually, while you open, why don't we take a pause and explain what the fuck is aging wine? Ooh, I've never said the F word on here before.
Haven't we?
No. Well, listen, if you know me personally, you know that I curse like a sailor.
We can always bleep it out.
I don't want to.
And just be really, really chaotic. Just beep,
I mean, everyone watching this is over 21. Everyone watching this is over 21.
You shouldn't be watching our show if you're not over 21, except for Sean. But you shouldn't be watching our show if you're not over 21. Alright.
So, what the hell is aging wine or cellaring wine? I don't like that, the conjugation of cellar. So we're just gonna say aging
Cellaring?
wine. Cellaring? It's
Why am I eating celery at this time?
Meteor?
Meteor.
Meteor.
Meteor. If she isn't up for an Oscar next year, I will be upset.
Honestly, autistic. So aging wines is when you buy wine from a trusted distributor or from a grocery store and you want to let the wine improve in the bottle, so you sit on it. So like I said, I'm an amateur wine enthusiast. I love learning about wine. So that's exactly what I do. I rely a lot on trusted wine reviewers and websites that I find informative to let me know, like, hey, should I sit on this wine or not? So that's some of the techniques, but then we'll also go over just some rule of thumbs that you guys should have for whether or not you should take it to the head, or let it sit on its ass. Yes, so cheers, babe.
Cheers.
Babe.
Another one.
Yes.
Swirl it. God.
All right. So before we get into the wines that we're drinking and what we're doing, who we talking to, what you're doing at the Holiday Inn, we're gonna talk about white versus red wine. So white wines, rule of thumb, you just don't sit on it. Drink that shit. Don't save it.
What do we say about the whites? They don't age well.
Anyways, yes. Shady. So white wines do not age well. Unless it's a really very specific fancy schmancy white wine, which are typically Chardonnays from the Burgundy area of France. Unless it's directly from there with the purpose of being a premium white Chardonnay that's supposed to be aged, just drink it.
Just drink it.
And there's really no rhyme or reasons. And if you guys remember from our previous videos, white wines, they tend to get like pissy yellow with age.
A word.
A read.
Listen, it's listen,
Linda.
Linda, honey, listen. We'll talk about corks too, but it just doesn't, because of the cork, and it just, it don't work.
It don't
work.
Yes. Red wines, on the other hand, are perfect for being aged in store to a degree, right? There's absolutely no reason for you guys to store cheap wines. For what reason? You have this liter and a half, literally, you have this 1.5 liter gallon of Barefoot that you saving for what?
You never know
For
what
who?
kind of paint and sip night might come. You never know. 20 bitches we got.
Drink that expired grape Welch's. I mean, I'm not shit on Barefoot. It's actually good. It's just commercial wine.
It's good, and we used to, hey, listen. If you talked to us 6 years ago, that was our preferred drink of choice.
Yes.
In our dorm room, we actually had,
oh my God, yes. Because every college student did.
We drank so much of the, what was it? It had to be a gallon wine. How much was it? It was the huge bottles of Barefoot. We had them all laying across our windowsill. So we used to drink that, okay?
They were actually our flower vases. Vases. Yes. So why don't we go over our rule of thumbs?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, first rule of thumb is don't sit on cheap wine. And cheap wine, we did it in an earlier video where we kind of walked through the categories. It's not a hard and fast rule, but any wine under 30 bucks, it's not really worth it to sit on it. Unless, you know, you read elsewhere, but then question it. There's no reason to sit on it. Also, don't sit on white wine. We already explained it. I'm not gonna repeat myself. Don't fucking do it.
This is a classroom. Listen up.
Yes. For bottles above $30, they still might not be, for red wine bottles over $30, they still might not be premium enough or luxury enough to age. So one of the things that I do is I look up on the winemaker's website. Okay, knowledge is power. And I also go through James Suckling. Do you know who that is? I'm just name dropping him. James Suckling.
Like a suckling pig?
He is a very respected wine reviewer who basically gives points. There's a point system named after him that's very well respected, and he categorizes on a scale of 1 to 100. I wonder if he's ever like rated a wine a 1, but anyways, I digress.
We should look it up. We should try that wine.
So I go on his website and I kind of see the reviews and see what he recommends, and that is some of the stuff that a lot of the wines that we have in our little mini cellar I got from a little pamphlet from work on 90-point wines in our portfolio, and the recommendation James Suckling had for aging that bad boy.
Okay.
So those are my rules, baby. If it's red, look online, see if you can sit on it. That's my recommendation. If it's white or cheap, don't bother. Yes.
Yes. All right, so a lot of this aging and the question about aging has a lot to do with the cork. Now the cork is a living, breathing organism. It's actually from a cork tree, which is a species of oak. You should look it up, it's very cool. Especially extraction of cork, I mean, we could do a whole episode on it. I'm not, but we could do a whole episode on it. It's very cool.
Yes, and just on that point, that's why sustainability is so big in the wine industry and in the wine industry, because not only are they farming grapes, but they're also flaying. That's rough. They're also removing the bark. Damn. Sorry, I saw a Game of Thrones gif by me playing. But they remove the tree bark from the cork tree, and that's what gets its cork. So it's a lot of trees, a lot of nature.
It's a lot of things
Damn
happening.
Nature, you scary.
You scary. Which is why there's now alternatives being made for the original cork. There's going to be rubber corks. Yeah, they have rubber corks now, and they have the screw top, which we all we all love a screw top wine.
I've never seen a rubber cork. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a little, I mean, I'm always gonna prefer a cork. I love screw top wines too, just for, you know, the simple when you're at a day at the park. But I love a good cork. I love pulling it out. It's just part of the romance of of enjoying a bottle of wine.
And it's like the wine is saying hello to you.
Yes. So aging wine has become really romanticized over the years, and that's really because, you know, the Richies always gotta be talking about aging some wine.
Yes.
But really, in reality, only 1% of the world's wine is meant for aging.
Yes.
Not to say that you can't age that wine, but only 1% of wine in the world has the intent of being aged.
Literally. So take it to the head, take it to the head, take it to the head, take it to the head.
Aging helps to get some of those flavors and textures that you would never get if you wouldn't have aged it. When you have a cork, it's literally, you just do it. So this is literally a living, breathing thing.
There it goes. You can see like where it absorbs the wine.
Absorb the
Absorb.
aggression.
Absorb it, Terry. Yes.
So through these little holes that this cork has, oxygen continually flows in and out of the bottle to sort of oxidize the wine at a really, really slow rate. So that's why some fancier wines you should age, because it has this super slow aging process happening that's making the wine better and better and better. It's sort of like caramelizing onions. You go super, super slow for a very specific flavor. That's exactly what winemakers are looking for here. So why does a cork get gross? Well, it mainly has to do with the storage of your wine. So make sure that when you are storing wine, you store it horizontally.
Yes.
We don't do that. We do it for most of our wine, but we have like 10 bottles that we store upright, and every now and then I just, you know, tip it. Yeah, but you have to have it this way so that the wine is touching the bottom of the cork. It's keeping the cork moist, and it's making sure that you're not gonna get any of that cork taint.
Yes.
You heard that right. Cork taint.
I don't want no cork on none of my taints. And on that, in terms of wine storage, you also want to keep it, not that we do that, but you also want to keep it in a place that's about 55 degrees. The reason is you keep this next to the stove, you keep it in a hot place, you're going to have aged vinegar. Please believe me,
It's bad.
You're gonna absolutely ruin your wine, and then you're going to be very upset with yourself.
One time I went to a restaurant with my mom and my sister, and we got a really, really expensive bottle of Barolo. And this is very special occasion wine, and it was very intense that we were getting it. We were very excited. So she brings the first one. We're at a very nice Italian restaurant. She brings the first bottle. It tastes like vinegar.
Oh.
Okay. She brings the second bottle. It tastes
It says like apple cider vinegar.
Literally. She brings a third bottle. It tastes like vinegar.
That's butt wild.
Okay. So my mom got rightfully upset, and she gets up to go to the bathroom, and she sees where the bottles are stored. There's like a wall with all the wines, and on the other side of the wall is the pizza oven.
Baby.
Is the pizza oven!
Baby.
Hitting it with 800 degrees every day. Like, what? So many bottles of wine ruined. So I beg, if you are going to start a collection or whatever, if you're just keeping some wine for yourself, make sure it's tilted, make sure it's in a cool and in a dry place. dark too, because direct sunlight can affect it as well.
Yeah, we're very lucky to live in an apartment with no direct sunlight.
No direct sunlight.
So this is our thrifty little table, and we have these cute little Amazon wine racks, and that is where we store it, baby. It is literally in the corner of our apartment. And then we have this cute little planter here. Oh my God, all the plants are dead, ignore. So we also have this cute little planter here, and at the very bottom row, this is where we also put some wine, making sure it's laying down. And yeah, that's it, baby. All right, anything else?
I don't think so.
Well, that's it.
We are here week after week educating you.
Yes.
And if there are topics or facets of the wine community, of the wine sector that you want to know about, let us know. We are always down to educate ourselves and pass it on to you. Yeah, but aging and cellaring, baby, is important.
Yes, yes. So let us know if you guys have a little wine collection, if you're looking into getting a wine collection, if you've recently bought a wine cooler for your home but you don't got no wine and you're panicking, just let us know. Oh,
With that.
let us know if you drinking wine or if you just drinking, baby. Cheers.
Cheers.